Hey everybody, and welcome to the Retroslice Gaming Amiga December podcast. So I have with me here tonight Gary Gill Gaming and also
Hello.
Retroider. How are the both of you?
Hello. Good, thank you.
Yeah, very good.
Hope you had a great Christmas. I know it's been a busy month for all of us, certainly sort of online and socially. So hope you both had time to sit down and relax and get some time with your family as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Good stuff, good stuff. So it was an active month, wasn't it? That's the first thing that comes to mind. It was quite an active month with the Amiga December podcast. More so than the C64 one, I think.
Yeah, the challenges, people really going for it. It was really cool to see that.
Yeah, it was.
The challenges certainly been neck to neck, haven't they, this time round? Like,
It's been quite intense, hasn't it? I mean, just thinking back now. So, I mean, Super Frog, I really did try my best with that and like tried to search everywhere out, but I don't think I got off World 1. I wanted to so much get to the Spooky Castle stage, but I couldn't get to it like in the allowed time. Maybe I should have gambled more and sort of stopped exploring everywhere, but I seemed to get hung up on the last level because I had enough rings to exit, I think, or something like that, but I just couldn't find the exit. Could not remember where the darn exit was.
yeah, that's the problem I had. I think it was the end of World 1. I couldn't find the exit. I was searching for ages and we just die in and end up starting all over again. And this is like, I gave up in the end.
Yeah, I think
so we'll try again soon, yeah.
I kept on landing on spikes, but yeah, definitely a game I want to go back to. It's so many memories with that game from back in the day.
Controls are not the best, but it can still be fun,
You do have to get used to the controls because remember you said to me, don't you, like, can you only shoot your frog ball in one direction or what? And I was like, no, I think you have to like press it first and press the button first and then like maneuver the joypad or joystick in the direction. So
I use the Xbox One controller USB, so
oh nice.
I mean, I tried to figure out some games work fine, but like Super Frog, I'm not sure. I need to maybe adjust or something, but it worked. I had fun. Yeah, it's pretty cool and a fun game. And it's beautiful as well.
It is
color palette and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It is quite lovely animation in it, isn't it? And I like even the way sort of when you're jumping in the trees that the eyes in the trees move to follow you and stuff like that. You know, all the little details.
Music as well. The
Yeah.
music is very nice.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I will look more back at it for sure and try and get to the higher levels. I know Blue Yak, he got right to the end. I think he was in space.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you do it, Gary? Did you you got to the last level same as me? You say yeah.
Yeah, it's a great game and a Team 17 at its best and a Super Frog.
Yeah.
It's a great game. I got the original in a compilation pack somewhere with a couple of other Team 17 games. Yeah, it's just shame we only ever made the one game, and they never done a sequel. Like I thought, it's about to have a sequel, but it never came to light. So
yeah,
they were too busy with worms, to do a sequel.
Yeah,
possibly so. That's it. But I remember you posted that intro, didn't you? Because I said I'd never seen that intro, and then when you posted it, I was like, wow, I do remember this. So I must have seen it myself years ago on floppy. But obviously, it's not in the newer versions, is it? In WHD load and whatnot.
No, and that's the problem. Some of these WHD loads as well, they are missing intros and that. But problem with Super Frog's unique because the intro's not on disc 1 where you expect it to be like is on disc 3. And the only reason I found that out because I got the original discs so when I was going through them, like before putting them in to the Amiga, I noticed all intro disc 3. So I thought I'd just check that disc and see what happened, and the intro come up and I think, well, I can't remember seeing this, like, you know what I mean?
That
it
is
was just strange the way it was, like.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect it to be on like disc 3 or 4 or something, would you? But Agony as well. I mean, that is a game I also love. Legendary developer again. But wow, do I find that game hard. I think doing it for the challenge is
I think
probably...
Super Frog is 10 times harder.
Really?
Super Frog.
No,
It's
no.
really. That's why I'm not sure if it's my controller. It's not suitable or not calibration really well. But Agony, otherwise, it's an amazing game. It's really the challenge. You have. Then I discovered the scrolls because Gary said to me, I thought it was points. And then you can usually use superpowers, and I believe in order to get the best superpower, that's invincibility, you have to get all their scrolls, right, to unlock. So it's a challenge. It's another challenge. It's a challenge within a challenge. So it's really great. It's kind of very simple, but really deep as well.
Yeah, such
and
a
then
unique game.
you have certain enemies that drops the power-ups, right? And graphic, the music, soundtrack,
background.
Yeah, the animation.
Yeah,
it's a really unique game. It's really, and there were no ports for this, right?
Nope, exclusively to Amiga.
Yeah, that's great game. Yeah, I love it. I plan to play this in the future. Yeah.
Me too. Definitely a game that we can't forget about. It's a true gem of
Yeah.
Amiga, it really is. And I mean, in the challenge, this is like the furthest I've got in a while, and I feel ashamed. Level 2, sort of into level 2. But I was proud to do that. I was like, wow, I've actually gone to level 2 for a change. But deep in, that was impressive.
I'm not Yeah, I'm not sure if you agree with me, Chris, but the only game that I really remember you going, very deep was River Raid, right? I mean, you really were you different there. Your scores, other games, I'm not sure if you have much time to expand.
This was the problem this time round. It was as much as I wanted to get involved with having, obviously I won't go into detail on the podcast, but with having sort of the family issues you guys know about, Christmas, the amount of work I had. It's literally been sleep, get up, get ready for work, go to work,
but
come back.
I think River Raid you play on the cell phone, right? So that was easier,
Yeah, I could
when you
do
have
it.
some time off,
on a break.
just go through the mobile. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I could do it on break
maybe,
time.
maybe if you had some more time, to dedicate.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, New Year, brand new set of holidays to book off, right? That's the way I look at it. But yeah, it was easy access for me, River Raid, because I could just have it on the phone, break time, I could do it. I did try it on the 800 XL as well, because I have it on that multi-cart, so that was good to do that.
Oh yeah.
But hey, there's still time on the Amiga challenges. I'm still off today and tomorrow, and definitely want to look at Lemmings and at least do some more on Turrican and Lotus.
No Lemmings. No
Lemmings. A little bit of Lemmings.
Oh, I don't have the patience. Yeah.
It's just so memorable for me, that game, definitely.
Yeah, it's really cute.
We had numerous challenges there, didn't we? That's what we were highlighting there. So we had Lotus, we had Super Frog, we had Agony, we had Turrican 2, and Lemmings. The latter three still ongoing, obviously Turrican, Lotus, and Lemmings. So I'm quite happy that we did get the involvement, as we say here, and some people did do really well on these challenges. Like Deepin is still playing Lemmings. I intend to continue that and try a bit more with Turrican and Lotus, as I say. But we had some good content going out there. Gary, you done that amazing video, the Lotus one. We've got the Amiga Live going on. We've got a few set up on that now, so I'm definitely up for doing more of that for sure.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Lotus challenge was just 2 stages, right? Mm-hmm. And I think Ben's there. He play another stage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, just to show us.
That was amazing, Yeah, that was great,
Yeah, I need to ask Deepin
It was
actually because
really enjoying, right? People really enjoying seeing that. It's really, yeah, right?
yeah, definitely. I
Really
need to
cool.
ask him as well how he does the longer videos because some of the videos that he put on Discord were like 4 or 5 minutes long. And obviously
Yeah, I
the
can't wait
limit
to work that one.
is the only thing I can figure out. I need to remember to ask him about it.
Yeah, he's
He might
doing
tune
something,
into
isn't
this.
he?
He must compress them. I think he must compress the
Yeah,
file format because I know the Discord limit on our server at the moment. Because we're only not a massive community. Obviously, we have some very good members with us and we are growing. But I think the limit as regards timing is 1 minute 30 seconds, but it is so many megabytes, obviously. So I think if you obviously compress the file, you can probably get a lot longer on it. So that could be a workaround as well, actually.
Yeah.
He'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I will ask him, yeah. Anyway, boldly forward. So I just wanted to highlight a little bit on Amiga history because obviously I think all of us would have been quite young when the first Amiga came out. I would have been 3. Yeah, yeah, 3. So I was born 82, and the first Amiga, to my knowledge, and Google, was the A1000. Obviously, we did have a couple of other models. There was the A2000, but I'm going to be honest, I don't remember them. I don't remember
No,
the A1000. I don't remember the A2000. The first Amiga I remember, and that's what I wanted to more discuss, was what was aimed at the home market. So the A500 was the first Amiga I certainly ever seen.
yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And again, without covering old ground, it was 1990, and I'd already had my C64. And I remember I'd gone through. Sorry, it wasn't 1990 actually. I knew of the Amiga in 1990. I knew that they were around, and I'd seen them in shops. But seeing them in the flesh and being able to use it, I had my C64 Christmas 1990. I went to my friend's house, and what did he have? Commodore Amiga. And I was like, oh my days, wow. And the first game I ever seen on it, I think, was Another World, surprisingly.
Oh, that's a big one to see for your first Amiga game.
Yeah. I don't know if that's right, though, because that didn't come with any original pack, to my knowledge. Now, as far as I remember, they had the Cartoon Classics pack. That's the one they got.
Yeah.
So that was obviously Captain Planet, Lemmings, and some others, wasn't it? That certainly didn't have Another World in it. So I don't know whether they'd gone and bought that later on, and I'm sort of getting the memories confused a bit. Maybe I did see the Cartoon Classics pack. Lemmings was certainly a game I seen very early on the Amiga and on the Acorn as well, because we had them in school. So that's it. That's certainly my first memory. It's probably around 1990, 1991, and it was the A500, which I just wanted so badly.
Funny enough, I've been looking at a website recently, and they've been on the site. They be documenting every Amiga and the pack it came with in every year since it was being produced. So like, I was trying to work out exactly what year the Screen Gems pack came out, the one I got, and I thought it was 1991, but it's not. It's 1990. The cartoon one then came out the following year then. So I was like, so it's really good. There's packs on it. When you released in the UK, so we would never seen them.
Right, okay.
So yeah, interesting.
Certainly what I remember the most is the Cartoon Classics one. I think there was a Batman one as well.
Yeah, the Batman one it was the biggest seller when at the time.
Yeah. Great
Quite
game.
It's very collectible, no? If you can get all the original pack with Amiga Batman.
Yeah, definitely. And that's again a thing to touch on, isn't it? I mean, there are so many models. I'll just highlight a few of the others. You've got obviously the A600, the A1200, 2000, 1500, 3000, 3000 UX. I know none of these. 300 OT, CD-TV. I definitely know that one. 4000, CD32, and 4000T, which I believe stands for Tower. So there certainly were a lot of Amigas. But again, you say to me Commodore Amiga, 500, 500 plus, 600, 1200, and the CD32, and probably the CD TV. That's what comes to my mind. and maybe
they
maybe
also
tower.
yeah. They're also business machines as well, weren't they? So a lot of the towers, that's where they would have been. That's where they would have concentrated more on business with the towers, because let's be honest, too, the Amiga wasn't cheap when it first came out. Was there? You know what I mean? So
that's very, very true. I mean, I should have researched that actually. What was it when it came out in 1990? I mean, it had to have been £500, surely, 499 or something.
yeah, it was about £500. Amiga 500.
That's it. Because I remember they eventually did reduce it to sort of compete, didn't they, and get it out there for that sort of Christmas period. And, I think that's what helped it, and that's really what settled it in the UK, wasn't it? Very popular here. Very popular.
You had no display, right? So you need at least a display, right? Screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the A500, correct me if I'm wrong, Gary. The A500 was better on a monitor, right? You could link it to a TV. Was it through coaxial? But I know you needed the A520. Was that for the A500 or the Plus?
I'm not sure. I had a TV for my A500, so I had to use the modulator on the back and all that. The 8 was, what's it called? 520 or something they called it.
Well, yeah.
So go on, mate.
To answer you there, Ryder, sorry. And I think I could be wrong on this. I believe the original Amiga A500 would have needed a monitor, but it came with like a modulation device that plugged into the back, which was called appropriately the A520. Just a little box and like an Amiga style case. You plugged that in the back and it had an RF on the back that you could then plug into your TV. I don't think that was the case with the A500 Plus. I believe I think it was. I think you still had to use it for the A500 Plus, but I'm not 100% sure on that. The difference between the A500 Plus was only memory, wasn't it?
Yeah, the trapdoor memory in the A500 on the Plus was already built into the motherboard, I presume, like.
Yeah.
So I remember correctly as well, when it first came out, a lot of people were taking them back because the games weren't working. The original A500 games weren't working. I ain't going by history now, top of my head.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if it was a disc or something you had to get then, or it was something like that, and to get around it, like. But
well,
yeah,
the thing with the Amiga 500 Plus is obviously it was after the A500, right? And I think it was, from what I heard, there obviously are a couple of differences, I'm sure, between the two models without looking deeply into it.
yeah.
But it was the shortest lived Amiga, I believe, because the A600
it came out after. Yeah, it was only a year or two between the two of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was literally on sale.
Correctly.
8 months or a year.
Yeah.
It was on sale or something. Then it was taken off sale, and they brought the 600 out.
Yeah.
The most.
I don't know why.
When you in the 80s, especially with since Atari, I mean, with the video games, you expect to plug in the TV, right? This is obvious, but
yeah.
How was it like with Amiga and Commodore on most of the houses? When you go to somebody else's house, your friend's house, and they got the Commodore or the Amiga later on, so they were usually plugged on the on the living room TV, stuff like that, or in the bedroom with the monitor.
Yeah, from my perspective, it was most people's houses that I went to. Certainly, especially thinking about my sort of best friend back then. It was early on. It was the A500 and the A500 Plus that were plugged into TVs, I believe. They did later get a monitor. And I believe had it on a monitor. They also had an A600 that they had on a monitor. So that was probably almost an exception. The majority of people that I knew were using the A520 modulator linked to TVs. But as time went on, and certainly as later Amiga models come out and we got into the 90s, you started to see more people had them linked up to monitors, especially the A600s, A1200s, stuff like that.
And on their living room, right? Not a specific TV on their bedroom. You hook up.
Not
to
at first, not at
to
first, as I say, because it was
Oh,
such an expensive computer back then. Not at first. A lot of people in the UK, I think, stuck with the 8 bits through the late 80s and early 90s. I mean, I certainly didn't
yeah.
have, originally, I did not have an Amiga 500. The first Amiga I ever owned was an Amiga 1200, and that was in the mid 90s. And I'd saved and saved and saved through doing lots of work and odd jobs and a little bit of part-time things here and there for, back in the day, cash in hand and stuff like that. And I went out and bought an A1200. And it took, by the time I bought the
yeah.
A1200, Commodore was bankrupt and the Amiga was going off the scene, but I didn't care. I didn't care.
But people didn't buy a specific TV for their bedroom. I mean, they used their
Well,
their principal their main television in the living room, right?
no,
And they just hook up the Amiga there.
only at first. Only at first in the early 90s. I mean, I was lucky enough to get a portable TV in my room, like a little white one, which was so nice. So I had the C64 linked up to that. Later on, I went and bought a monitor. So I think at first, most definitely, yeah, when they first came out, a lot of people would have had them linked up to the main TVs. But later on, the more you got into the early 90s and mid 90s, they did progress to people's bedrooms. And, I'd go around to my friend's house and the A500 would be in the bedroom.
Mm,
And then
yeah, maybe
the
the
PS1 would be on the main screen.
monitors became cheaper, right?
Yeah,
If you
definitely.
own a monitor. Yeah, okay, got it.
And the systems themselves, because as time went on, obviously, Commodore had a lot more to compete with. Certainly the PC was growing in the early 90s, wasn't it? In mid 90s. And, they ended up going bankrupt in 92, I believe. Quiz answer reveal. So,
Yeah, because I didn't live,
was it 92
through
or
that.
93?
I was born in '87, so the only video game that we had, sorry, was Atari. I believe my dad bought in '85, but just hook up on the TV, and then we got the Master System, and then I got my PC in 96 with Windows. But
90s.
I bought on a, like a Walmart here in Brazil, and you got the whole package, right? The
Wow.
CPU, the keyboards, mouse, and the monitor. So I didn't live through that, so that's why I asked. So and it's
No,
very
no.
interesting to know about this.
Certainly, I think it's what you said. The more your hard drives, your external disk drives and monitors and peripherals became cheaper in the sort of early to mid
Yeah,
90s as Amiga was getting sort of not a brand that was getting forgotten about. That's the wrong way to put it. It hasn't been forgotten about in 2023, but PCs were taken over. Commodore was bankrupted by the mid 90s. So, you
yeah,
used to pick up things for surprisingly cheap prices. I mean, at one point, I kid you not, I used to dabble in repairing them and fixing them and restoring them a bit. Now, I remember seeing an A500 Plus listed on eBay, working, cosmetically okay, and it said something like untested but doesn't include cables or something like that, and it was working. £20. So I watched it. I'm like, right, we'll watch that. Nobody bid on it. Then the last day, somebody bid 20 quid. So, okay, 25 quid. You've won the auction. Brilliant. Trip down the road, let's say down the road, 25 minutes, and I had an Amiga A500 Plus for £25. That was in very good condition cosmetically and worked fine. You try and go and do that now.
yeah,
You
Yeah,
got
I'm
no
going to
chance now.
I'm going to hope in hell.
Chance.
And that's the thing, I hate to say every dog has its day, but the Amiga went through the stage of being a very popular home computer to sort of being a bit left behind by the PC and what was coming out, and now it is such a niche thing to have, and I think such an amazing piece of computing history. Still, such a very very capable computer, games, music, business. I should imagine people still use it for, certainly in music production. So they can't be forgotten. They are a piece of computing history, and okay, I only have one,
yeah,
and it's the first A600 I've ever owned. Not the most popular Amiga for those listeners, I know, but it's the first A600 I've ever owned, because I have owned A500, A500 Plus, a couple of them. I've had two A1200s, but I never owned an A600, and I got it for the form factor where I wanted to put it. Without going into too much detail, you two know it's been it's been a rocky ride, this Amiga 600, since I got it. But touch wood, it is finally behaving after replacing some parts. It's looking swish, and I am enjoying it. I am enjoying it.
Nice to hear. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm quite proud of that. But as I say, I never had one back in the day, and the Amiga 600 obviously wasn't very popular at all, was it? Really, because there wasn't much difference between the A500 and the A600 for what you were getting for your price. There's a bit of a story to that as well. I won't go too deep, but the A600 was supposed to be a lot more than what it is. It was supposed to be sort of quite a high-end Amiga, I believe. No, sorry, I'm wrong there. I don't want to reveal a quiz answer here, but at first the Amiga name was something different for the 600, and it was supposed to be a very, very baseline Amiga, the budget Amiga, yeah, and it was meant to be called something different. However, that didn't happen, and things happened within Commodore, I believe, and it got renamed, and also things got added into the spec that priced it out of this budget market that they were aiming for. So they had to rebrand it. It was called the A600, and it was released with a couple of modifications over the A500. The main one being an IDE interface, so you can link in a hard drive. They had a built-in hard drive back then, some models. And obviously, a lot of people link in compact flashes that way, don't they, now, with a vast set of software on it, games and music demos and whatnot. I did have one, although it failed, which was quite sad. I must try that out again, but I think the CF...
And there was that kind of, just like you guys discussed before on Commodore, that thing that you copy games, just rent, or you got yourself a copy and then share. There was this kind of thing on the Amiga, or no?
Back then in the 90s.
Yeah, just like Commodore, I think the Commodore with floppies, you got to copy the games and share with everyone, just like some Paris, you go Paris,
if I said there. To you, buddy, if I said to you that I have never ever copied an Amiga game and I always bought my games retail from the shop at full price, I would be the biggest liar ever.
Yeah, so there was this thing with Amiga as well going, just pretty much like Commodore. Oh, okay.
Well, you've seen my mouse mat, right?
Yeah.
You've seen my Amiga mouse mat. It's themed on a piece of software called Xcopy.
Nice.
That's what I used to use. Just, I want to copy this disk. Put Xcopy in. Please put in your source disk. Source disk copies all the data. Please put in your destination disk. Destination disk. Data copied. Done.
But do people actually, back in the day for Commodore and Amiga, did people sell it? These copies?
I certainly didn't. From the experience I had, certainly people were sharing games, and just copying games. That I'd go to a friend's house. He'd say, "Do you want a copy of that?" Yes. Do you know what I mean? You get a copy. That's it. You're going home with 4 new games. It went on. Of course, it did. It was a lot easier back then. The only sort of like copyright things that you had was, enter the password.
But you didn't have anyone like selling it or selling these copies. There's nothing like that.
I know, not that I remember personally. I mean, I do remember a chap that I got in touch with in the early 2000s when I had an Amiga 1200. And again, I won't go into too much detail, but it was something I bought off eBay that was Amiga related. And he'd said, "Oh, so you have an Amiga?" I was like, "Yeah, I've got a 1200. I've got a 500 as well. I think I had at that point. Do you want games?" Yeah, of course I do. So he privately contacted me through email, and we used to exchange. I used to pay him through PayPal to send me games, and that went on.
But this is
quite some time.
But this is nowadays.
No, that was post. That's post 2000.
But this is
post 2000. But certainly it would have went on back then. I can certainly imagine that the same thing would have went on back then, just not through email, probably just through friends and through the schoolyard and stuff like that.
It was possible, but you guys didn't know anyone doing it, actually doing it.
Well, I didn't. What about you, Gary?
I used to copy games and take them into school and swap them for other games. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I used to do as a kid. I think we got to try and remember as well, some of these Amiga games weren't easy to buy anyway, original. Unless you had a good shop nearby back in Stockholm, and you go in and say, yeah, I can get half it, you ain't getting that game. It's not like today where you got the internet and you know what I mean? Back then it was
very true.
It was just walking to your local shop or maybe get a mail order from one of the Amiga magazines. That was about it.
True. That's a point to mention as well, yeah. More so Commodore 64, actually, but I did used to order quite a few mail subscription magazines, so you'd get the full list of games in the back of the magazine and a self-addressed envelope to this address, wouldn't you? Or contact us now on this phone number.
Well, that's interesting. But right. I believe you guys were like kids or teenager back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So imagine if you had someone, these guys sell these copies, for very cheap or like half the price or even 1/3. Do you manage you guys back in this situation? Would you guys buy these things? Would you guys buy back in the day?
I probably would have.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I used to get them copied off friends and stuff like that. I mean, you did still have a concern about viruses and stuff back then, right? So I probably would have thought, is this going to damage my Amiga? Is it pirated?
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm going to get an
going on, so
Skullbone and X show up. There was always that concern. But because I got my games from my friends, sort of, their families were somewhat a bit better off than mine. Some of my friends, so they had an Amiga monitor, they had a 1200. I didn't have a 1200 by the mid-90s, as I say. But and I used to get a lot of copied games from them, so I didn't have to worry about that. So that's why I got a lot of my games. Definitely that's how I got a lot. And then, later on when I was in my early 20s and stuff like that, I would pick up job lots and stuff and, got quite a few games that way, C64 and Amiga. Don't have a lot of the Amiga ones now, unfortunately. I don't have any boxed Amiga games. I know people, you can shout at me for this. I have C64 ones, but I don't have any boxed Amiga ones. Got the A600, got the GoTech, which I put just whatever I want on. And I've got the A500, which is packed and it's got AGS on as well. Again, just to touch on that, I mean, both of them actually. The A1200, definitely my favourite Amiga, I think. The A1200, despite I don't own one, I would have one hands down. But again, have you seen the price of them? Especially if you want a modified Amiga 1200. Wow, they have shot up so much in the past 5 to 6 years.
You're talking £500 just for a refurb A1200 at the moment.
Yeah,
and time you put all your extras on it. We was talking about the other day. You're talking at least £1,000 now just to have a souped up A1200. I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you ever remember. I posted that picture of my A1200 in Discord. It was a very blurred picture because it was a photo of a photo. But I remember for that I had a scan doubler. I had a CF inside. I had an 030 processor with extra RAM and a few other modifications. So, dread to think what that would have been worth now and why did I ever sell it, I remember why, actually. It was a bit of a tough decision. But, like you say, to get one again, an Amiga 1200, you are looking at serious money. Even the 600 now, I don't think I was looking the other day on eBay for parts. And the A600, in good condition, fair condition, probably with a box and, working well, you're talking £250, £300.
Yeah, you are. Everyone seemed to think that when the A500 Mini came out, they thought that's it. Now the price of original hardware is going to drop, but it haven't. It just made it boom even more now.
I think it's opened it back up more, hasn't it? Because there's probably a lot of people since the Amiga 500 Mini who've never thought of an Amiga for 10, 20 years, maybe longer, and then they've seen that, and maybe they've then gone out and explored Amiga more. That would certainly be my hope, because I certainly never forgot about it. I've not always had an Amiga in my life. There's been points where I haven't, but certainly computer I very much have a lot of affection for, a lot of memories, and this A600 is going nowhere. In fact, you may get a friend soon, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, the A500 Mini, I mean, that's a marvelous bit of kit. If anybody is listening or happens to listen to this from Retro Games, then touche. You brought the Amiga back home. You brought it into the 21st century. Very easy access. We're happy that people are modifying it, to be honest, and opening it up a bit, because I think for easy access and to get people back into the Amiga, it's a really easy way to do it. I mean, even you were debating picking one up, weren't you, Ryder?
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. It's really called the attention here. I mean, it's really is in the eyes. Yeah, it's a really interesting piece of equipment. I'm not that into the mini stuff, but I don't want this. I really don't want this struggle to have, this kind of problem that you've been having, just like issues and things not working. So yeah, if I would collect now, I would go for a mini, definitely for a mini. Maybe in the future, because
So
I
what would
don't
you
have
say?
space right now.
Would you rather? I mean, now that obviously we've introduced you a lot more to the Amiga, I know it's not a system you were tremendously familiar with before joining the community.
Yeah.
What do you think? Would you go out and buy an original Amiga of some sort, or would you stick more with the emulation and get the A500 Mini?
Yeah, if I was more technical stuff, into technical stuff, and not as lazy as I am, I will probably go to the real thing, because I do much prefer the real thing, of course, just like I'm doing with the consoles there.
Sure.
Right. Have the experience. I repeated that already many times, but since I'm a Metal Gear fan, I would probably have an MSX2 and maybe struggle to have that working because only of Metal Gear, but prices are really beyond, the realms of reality. I'm hoping for some repro stuff that could replicate the cartridges. Then maybe I'll buy an original MSX2, right? But yeah, if I would go for it, I would go for a mini, definitely. And I don't have any of the PC games, right? So having, I'm probably gonna have to choose my first, PC from this.
Yeah, but I mean,
generation. Yeah.
If you were to buy an Amiga 500 Mini, say, literally all you would have to do, in my opinion, is do a very little brief setup with the USB, get onto the latest update from Retro Games, and in my opinion, download AGS, and that's you're sorted very easily. You are in Amiga heaven.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I am not that lazy. This I can do.
It may require some effort. Yeah.
No, I'm definitely up to this. But yeah, it's really interesting to have something. I believe there is one that it always. I'm not sure if there is one that can read the real thing. Any of these new minis or no? Because there is like a PC engine, right? That was recently launched that can read the real things, and also.
Well, when you say real things, do you mean like a floppy disk?
Yeah, or cartridges or stuff.
Not that I know of for the Amiga, no.
Okay.
I mean, obviously the way I do it is I get the ADF file, which I download, which is obviously the ADF file is pretty much, correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, it's a direct disk file, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So obviously I'm downloading that and then on the PC, and then I put my USB stick into the PC, put the ADF file onto the USB stick, put the USB stick into the GoTech on the A600. So as far as the A600 is concerned, or even the Mini, because the A500 Mini has ADF support now, as far as that's concerned, it's the original file, yeah? Or you can have a WHD load version of the game, which has obviously been altered.
Yeah. The content the last 2 months, were very interesting, and I definitely for historical preservation, right? Not collector. We are not collectors. We are preservators. Yeah, for preservation, I would definitely do it. Have a Commodore, at least one Commodore. So I'll go for the Mini, of course, and have an Amiga, at least one Amiga into my collection. As a Mini, no problem.
You're going to get a
could be the
C64 Mini and an Amiga Mini. That's what I heard.
Oh yeah, probably, yeah.
That's what I just heard.
Yeah. Maybe if I had, I just need space, man. Once I got more space, I would do it, no problem.
Well, I did say that, didn't I? I have sort of yet again rearranged the room to try and get more stuff in, and it feels a bit weird the way I've done it, but I've certainly maximized on space, so I think it's going to have to stay like this, which is great. That's fine. But just before just to note on time, Gary, when did you get your first Amiga?
That 1990 when I had my first Amiga. That's the one I still got now.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. I seen it for the first time. I think it was the summer of that year. He went up, like I said before, he went up to the shop in Eberville, my local town. There was a computer shop there. And one room was just full of games for sale. I'm going to the second room is like a demonstration room, and it had all the computers out there, and we seen two A500s. Me and my dad were just amazed by Unreal. It's called a game. Game Unreal. Unreal. It don't look much now, but at the time, with the sound at full blast as well, it was amazing. Like, and the other Amiga was playing James Pond.
Oh,
remember?
That's uncanny that you've just said that. I was literally just about to say, the crazy thing is, the main games I remember from back then, in the early 90s, was Lemmings, Another World, Back to the Future, the train scene especially, going along the train. Remember that, definitely.
Yeah.
Syndicate.
That's another big game, yeah.
That used to amaze me, that game. Super Frog, Another World, and James Pond.
Yeah.
Also, Krusty
not many people. I was going to say, not many people like James Pond. Is crazy, and because they always think of RoboCod on it because the second game was that good.
Yeah, it's a bit mixed opinion on it, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, I love it. I do. I like that game. It's more relaxing. Quite a relaxing game. I think. I
don't mind it at all. I don't mind it. And this is it. I mean, well, let's face it. We could talk about Amiga gaming all day long, couldn't we? There are so many good titles on the Amiga that have been released, but we will cover some of them shortly in the gaming submissions. So, just moving on, I wanted to highlight certain people. So, firstly, Blue Yak. Thank you so much for your involvement in Amiga December. Thank you very much for the post you've done and for the amazing demo. I really enjoyed seeing that, and it was quite sort of unique downloading it and putting it on the GoTech and actually watching it on the A600. So big shout out to Blue Yak there for doing that. Really appreciate it. And we did have quite.
He's like John Williams,
Like who?
For your Commodore.
Who?
John Williams,
John Williams, John Commodore III.
No, John Williams is the composer for Star Wars. Those Spielberg composer, Indiana Jones, Superman.
Yeah, well, I mean, his music knowledge on the Amiga and the C64 just really impressive.
It's like a maestro, right?
But he really knows his stuff compared to myself, certainly, I got no clue on that type of thing, designing music. It's something, as I've said repeatedly, I want to start looking at more, especially with the SID chip. And, I might have a dabble on the Amiga. There is some music software that I do remember back then. I think I mentioned one to Blue Yak, actually, Octamed. That's one I remember, certainly. But we did have quite a few people get involved in the hashtag as well. Gary, you did. Blue Yak, Retro Passion UK, Sensible World of Soccer, Deepin also got involved. I'm just shouting these people out, by the way. And also there was a couple of others. Just let me get those in front of me. Jimmy Loves Retro, Toys Gone Wild UK, Commodore's Revolution, and MRU2_loves_8bit_computers. There we go. So as far as I know, those are the people that got involved with the hashtag. So thank you for that. I do appreciate it. It was nice to see your posts. And also just to highlight as well, we're on an Amiga podcast, but we did have the 12 Days of Xbox as well, which was another tag we ran during December. That also done really well. So if anybody from that is listening, again, thank you for getting involved. So yeah, we got 20 games submitted, and we also had the quiz as well. So what I just wanted to do first before we move on to that is highlight the challenge winners. So we initially had Super Frog. Can anybody remember who won that?
Blue Yak.
Okay, so yeah, we had Super Frog and we also had Agony, didn't we? So I 100% remember that Deepin won Agony.
Yeah.
And you say it was Blue Yak.
He finished the game. He finished the game and closed the.
Was he the only one to finish it?
Yeah, he was the only one to finish it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I did try to finish it, but
yeah.
Congratulations, buddy, if you do end up listening to this. And I know, obviously, Blue Yak found that sort of little, not glitch, because Agony doesn't have glitches, but that little side swipe where you can just stay on level 1. I thought that was very interesting. I had no clue on that. I actually had no clue on that.
I thought about doing this, and I actually did this with Tapper without knowing. The Tapper on the Commodore 64. I was stuck on the stage, and I was failing at the end, and I was just hanging up my scores naturally. And I thought, okay, everyone's gonna have the same score. And no, I got a really huge score compared to everyone, because I did something like that, but naturally, I wasn't thinking about doing some trick, to get points. But on Agony, I thought about that, that marbles, right? On the first boss, he throw like marbles, right? So those round circles.
Oh,
stuff, and
that's what's coming at you.
Yeah. I thought about it, but okay. But the game's so fun and challenge, and I thought, okay, I want to finish this game. So I actually did put a higher score than I submitted, but I really I just thought, okay, I'm not gonna submit until I finish the game, and I got the strategy there. I need to save my scrolls and power up to get the invisibility, then start using the scrolls. But then I keep failing, and I just gave up after bins and finished the game. Thought, okay, that's it. I don't think I can top that, but I'm still planning on finish this game. Yeah,
that's really good. Cool. Good to hear that you're going to go back to it. Definitely. Me too.
Yeah,
definitely a game, and Super Frog. But it was Blue Yak that won Super Frog, and it was Deepin that won Agony. Obviously, Lotus still ongoing, as is Turrican 2. I'm going to be honest, I think my chances of winning either of those are pretty slim, but I will definitely be getting involved. Might get a chance later on, if not, certainly tomorrow, my last off day. But yeah, I will definitely get involved. I'm going to probably do it on the A500 Mini. Obviously, I've got to use the WHD load version for Lotus, so that's easier on the Mini. So that's me. And obviously Lemmings, I want to try and do a few Lemmings games before the time is up, and do the Christmas Lemmings as well. So What did you think of the challenges that we introduced? Did you think they were? I mean, we tried to get like a mixture of something fun, which is why I done the Lemmings, and obviously Turrican 2 and Lotus. You got a good racer, and you got a legendary platformer, right?
Yeah, I would say they're great choices what we decided to go with, and they really Turrican 2 on his own, legendary game platformer.
Yeah.
Lotus 2, one of the greatest races on the Amiga, and you know what I mean, arcade style racer anyway. Because I'm a big fan of Grand Prix, so that's a simulation. So I don't never compare them two games together; their own separate thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Agony. I think Agony's like I think Agony's more new old because let's be honest, when Agony originally came out, not many people knew of the game, did they? You know what I mean? Until few years later, it started coming a bit of a cult classic then on the system.
Very true.
Super Frog, anyone knows Super Frog? Yeah, I think the challenges are great. Like at the moment, the Lotus one's really close. I mean, me and D-Pain are going for it on now, and at the moment, it's like when I get in the mood, I sit there and because I got to play on a laptop because of the WHD unoriginal issue we got with the scoring. But it's on the edge. I never been on the edge of my seat on an Amiga game in years.
No, see,
So yeah, it's really good at the moment.
That's brilliant to hear, though. That's brilliant to hear that it's bringing back memories for you, and you're getting involved with it and enjoying it. And I know D-Pin's the same. I really enjoyed the Amiga Live session that we done, like with myself and yourself, Gary, and also Ryder. Definitely going to try and do more on it as regards to the score and get the score in there. So yeah, it has been really good, and the involvement.
Again, excited. They're just going to say about D-Pen. I was just going to say about D-Pen. Really excited about his project he's undertaken as well with the using original Amiga floppies on a PC.
Yeah,
playing the games through he's taking our on board now. I seen his message earlier, so I'm thinking, it's going to be interesting to see how he does it.
Yeah, same. I'm looking forward to seeing those results, most definitely. It's a quite unique project as well, so look forward to seeing like maybe a description, sort of how he's done it and whatnot.
Yeah, very diverse games, right? So you had a shooter, Agony, you had racing, Lotus, you have platform, you have an action game, Turrican, right?
Yeah.
You have puzzle with Lemmings, and they are really pretty straightforward, right? Anyone can play it. And as far as I know, shooters are commonly known in Japan only, right? Japan is the home of shooters, actually. So having UK, right? Psychnosis is from UK, right? So to develop a shooter game like that for Amiga, it's really incredible. It's really an achievement and be really fun and good looking, right?
See, I
definitely highlight between the Amiga titles.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember Turrican back then, but it wasn't a game that I really played a lot back in the day. So I really appreciate that video you done, Gary, to get the tips in there. I'm certainly going to look at that and sort of play as I'm watching that video and try and get a bit further and get a better score. It's definitely such a graphically stunning game, I think. I mean, let's face it, there was many on the Amiga. But I really like the way Turrican 2 looks, and I want to explore that more, definitely.
Yeah.
Also, Jaguar XJ220 challenge. Somebody remember that?
Yeah, I saw that. But
Jaguar.
It was like a post from Gary, right?
No, I don't think so. Did you do a post about it, Gary?
No.
No. Did you play that game though? Do you like it?
Yeah, I played that one. Yeah, I played that one back in the day as well. Yeah, because that was called Design's entry into the world of Lotus when they wanted to have a go at Gremlin, see if they do better. They done a great job with that game. Like, you know,
yeah, I like it.
He doesn't get. I like it. I don't think it gets the credit he really deserves. To be honest, yeah. It's not as solid as Lotus, but it's still a fun game.
No.
You know what I mean? You got You got like all the official cars in it as well. You know, Lotus is just racing Lotuses, but now you got like Lamborghinis and everything in it, Porsches and all. Like, it is great fun. Like,
Yeah. Well, I heard the other day actually on a podcast that apparently Lotus Challenge may not have been Lotus Challenge. They actually, I think, applied for the Porsche license first, and they didn't get it.
yeah, that might be true. Yeah.
I'm sure I heard that on a podcast not so long ago.
Yeah.
Actually. I'm sure I did. That was like the intention. It was supposed to be Porsche Challenge, but they didn't get the Porsche license, so it became Lotus Challenge. Well, great success.
They lost out there then, didn't they?
There was Porsche Challenge on PlayStation 1, wasn't there? I remember there was a Porsche Challenge or a Porsche Challenge 2000 or something.
Yeah, I used to have, yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing that. I think I had one on the PC, Porsche Challenge 2000 on the PC, and Porsche Challenge on the PS1 from memory. Both great games. I used to enjoy them.
Yeah.
London Racer as well, while we're touching on that. That was
I'm not sure if I got that. Yeah, I think I still got London Racer.
Yeah, that was great. London Racer and Porsche Challenge. There we go. Okay, so we have now the community game submissions. Let me get those in front of me. Okay, get those in front of me. Okay. So, shall we? I mean, we had 20 games submitted. Shall I say who they're from, or should we keep it anonymous?
I think you should say where they from, I do.
Yeah, Ryder?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just before that, I was just looking something here regarding Lotus. I had this on my mind, but I think I forgot to do some research. The first thing that I noticed playing Lotus, it's pretty much like Top Gear on Super NES. That's Top Racer in Japan, right? Not sure if you guys know Top Gear game for Super NES.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, if you guys take a look later, it's definitely reminds of Lotus Turbo Challenge. And I'm seeing here on the Wikipedia, actually Lotus Turbo Challenge 2 was released earlier than Top Gear.
Okay.
And Top Gear here in Brazil was huge.
I'm trying to think if it was popular. Yeah, I don't think it was. Was it? Was it popular here? I don't remember it being.
Top Gear, Top Gear was out on the Amiga as well, wasn't it? Because Top Gear was published by Gremlin as well. So I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, Magnetic Fields actually developed that one as well. I'm not sure.
I don't really remember.
But that's where you could get similarities from.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
No.
Developer is the publisher Gremlin Graphics, right?
I'll have a
for
look
the,
for you
the Lotus. Yeah, developers said magnetic fields, but for the Top Racer, I mean, I'm saying Top Racer because it's the regional title in Japan. Gremlin Graphics. Yeah, there's certainly something related. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely related. I'm gonna have a quick look now. Yeah, Top Gear 2 came out on the Amiga. Top Gear didn't come out on the Amiga. It wasn't, according to this, it wasn't created by Magnetic Fields, and anyone's done a lot of series. But I'm not sure if some of the Magnetic Fields team actually helped produce it.
Yeah,
it was definitely.
It's saying on the Wikipedia here.
Amiga, they released it. They released it on OCS and ECS, which is the A500 and 600, in 1994, and they also released it on AGA as well.
Oh, there we go.
Because
good old Lemon Amiga.
Yeah, because Top Gear here in Brazil was huge. It was like, International Superstar Soccer back in the day, for football, because soccer here in Brazil is huge, right? And so along with International Superstar Soccer, Mario and Game Gear, Top Gear.
Mm-hmm.
The early concept for that, right? The base, it's credible. It's really unique to know this. I love this kind of things. To follow up chronologically the evolution of the games. So that's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, surprising what
Okay.
came from what, isn't it?
Yeah, I love this.
Right, so we'll name the people then. So our first 5 submissions are from Jimmy Loves Retro. Shout out, Jimmy. First one, Secret of Monkey Island. What do we think of that one?
Well, it's a classic, and a point and click at its finest on the Amiga.
Literally.
And that's anything from storyline, graphics, gameplay.
Yeah.
Such
an adventure as well.
Yeah, it's got it all in it, haven't it?
Yeah, definitely. Very, very worthy entry. I know I was late to Secret Monkey Island. It is a game I have looked at quite a bit. I did enjoy playing it. Certainly I would again. I know at Blue Yak absolutely loves it, no doubt. And I know Deepin recently explored the C64 version. Was that right? Did you see that, Gary?
Yeah, Sounds basically created a C64 version of the game, haven't they?
Yeah, like a watered down version, shall we say? Like more of just a story.
Yeah. I haven't seen much great reviews on it beyond, so I'll have to try it for myself, I think, see what I think.
I think it's worth a try, but it's such a renowned Amiga game and such a great one. Then I think it's quite hard to remove it from that platform,
Yeah. Yeah, it is a part of the Amiga. I personally feel if that game and Lotus 2 was released on the 8th.
Oh, we lost you a sec there, Gary.
Obviously, all comes down to licensing, don't it?
Yeah, I think we lost you for a second there. You were saying if Lotus 2 came out and if
Monkey Islands came out on the 800 Mini on its launch, they would have sold a lot more consoles, I reckon, personally. Like,
yeah, but as you said, licensing and that. Yeah, I mean, I was okay with the games. I don't think they were bad that were on there, but I think there certainly could have been better choices, but maybe they didn't have that option, as you say. I was surprised that Lemmings wasn't there. I mean, it's one of the first games I think of in the Amiga. Another World that is there, I believe. Sensible World of Soccer, was that on there, or there certainly was a football game on there.
Yeah, Kickoff 2's on there, and so
Kickoff 2, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously down to certain factors, but I'm just glad it is so accessible with a USB. I mean, it doesn't take that much knowledge to get games that you would want, right? If you want to do that. Anyway, the next one is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
You see a bit of a trend coming on here now, Gary. That's another Lucas Games point and click adventure, and it is the point and click one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, great choice. So I haven't played much of it beyond, so
same.
I'm a little. I can't really go into that one too much because, to be honest, I played it, but I haven't played too deeply into it.
Yeah, I do remember it.
But
I think it's got some nice gameplay features. The graphics are reasonably good for the Amiga, and obviously it's a renowned thing, isn't it? Indiana Jones. I did play it. Certainly, I think it's a game I need to devote more time to on that one.
Yeah.
But good entry there.
These games are so stressful that you need like 3 months gap between them, because you keep clicking on everything and you're stuck. So I think there's no one that plays, point and click games sequentially, on sequence. You need to, have your mind off like 3 months, because these games are usually stressful, right?
Not your type of thing, point and click, right? I don't know.
Yeah. More modern take for me.
I don't
Old
mind
school can be stressful. Yeah, but I think that the thing is, once you get into the game, especially the story, right? If you're really interesting about the story and dialogue and stuff, then you can enjoy it more.
Yeah.
But if you're just clicking random stuff and hopefully something happens, you're not going to enjoy it. Right?
True. Okay, so the next one I certainly have played, and most of us are going to know the story behind this one, right? Great Gianna Sisters.
You won't find a finer game for controversy for its time, Alan, will it?
Do you know the story
Everything
behind
from
that
the
one,
game
right?
to the cover.
Yeah, it was dodgy ground from the beginning, wasn't it? Let's say that. Do you know the story about Gianna Sisters, Ryder?
I don't even know how to spell this.
Okay. So, just to explain in brief then, the Great Gianna Sisters is the biggest rip-off of Mario Brothers that you will see on the Commodore.
Now I heard it. Just sisters. Yeah, I think I saw a video from Angry Video Game Nerd about it, and or someone else. Yeah. Now I got it.
Yeah. So, great game, great platformer. I love it. Quite fond of it, to be honest. And yeah, certainly a controversial game. Actually removed from the shelves back in the day, I believe, at Nintendo's lawsuit request. So yeah, very controversial one, but I am glad that in some shape or form we still have access to it. That's
nice.
That's all I'm going to say.
I really want to try it. Yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely see if you can get a hold of it. Defender of the Crown.
No, this sounds like another point and click game. Oh my god.
This is more point and click action adventure game. This is it's a masterpiece. The C64 version is a masterpiece as well. Yeah, it's one of those games you gotta sit down, have a good couple hours on for me. Especially if, right, obviously you don't live in the UK, but if you live in the UK, like me and Retroslice do, it's great because it's got a bit of history in it as well.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an
great.
absolute fantastic game.
Great.
Yeah. Have played it. I do like it. Not really my type of game, I'll be honest. But I mean, not for
don't
the
like
point,
history,
not for the point,
right?
not for the point.
You don't like history, right?
It's not I don't like it. It's not. It didn't. I like the game, right? I respect it. It's like Gary said, it's an amazing looking game. It has got those history elements, but I didn't. It wasn't a game I really played, but back in the day, to be honest, yes, I have looked at it, but it didn't really hold my attention. Let's say that.
You're probably more into cyberpunk, not history stuff.
Now
Kings
you're
and
talking.
queens.
Now you're talking cyberpunk. You can get cyberpunkers now.
Blade Runner, Another World, something modern.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Anyway, revealing all my choices here. Last but not least, from Jimmy Loves Retro, Lionheart.
And, I have to pop over his house for a couple of beers and I'll go in his Amiga, and it's another classic game, and
does he live close to you? Does he live close to you at all? He's in London, isn't he, Jimmy?
Oh, it was on your trip down the M4 then. 2 hours in the car. Be there now.
Yeah, I don't want to say much more than that, obviously, but I think he's down south. I think he's London way somewhere. Yeah, this is it. I mean, we'll have to. I'm definitely up for arranging sort of group activities, meeting up at certain shows and stuff like that. But it's a shame we don't live close together and can't do that.
Isn't there a train or stuff in England or United Kingdom? Isn't there a train to go faster? I mean, in order for you guys to go to these places,
no,
further London and stuff, you really need to go by car.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
other
I mean,
transportation.
We do obviously have trains. We do have trains, but we don't have any high-speed trains like in Japan or anything like that.
Okay.
There has been I mean, there's been a lot of, without going too deep, there's been a lot of controversy with the railway services at the minute because a lot of them have been on strike and not maintaining contracts properly and living up to what they're supposed to be doing, etc. But there has been a plan to, I believe, introduce a one-way system from underground system. Is it, Gary? From London to Birmingham, which is obviously Birmingham is in the West Midlands, so that's the middle of the country. From all the way down south in London to the Midlands. There's been
you have between countries, right? Between Spain, England stuff, but not within the countries.
Oh, well, there's right? I get what you're saying there, yeah. So in the UK, we just have railway lines, yeah. They connect the country, yeah, railway lines, but they're not high-speed ones. So train travel is very popular, yes, but we don't have high-speed trains. There is the Eurotunnel, which is what you're referring to, which goes from Dover to Calais. That's the Eurotunnel. There is that. That, I think, is probably a pretty fast train. I'm not sure. But we don't have any literal high-speed trains like in Japan, as far as I'm aware. And this one-way system from underground from London to Birmingham, or partly underground, I presume, that was shelved. And then there was a lot of controversy about it. And now I think it's going ahead again. But who knows? I can't keep up with what they do. So let's not go down that avenue.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, back to Amiga. Lionheart. I do remember it. It's quite a nice visual game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a Falion published game.
Yeah, nice.
1993 it was released. Yeah. I can't remember if it was Toys Gone Wild or D-Pen introduced me to this game back last year before, because I hadn't really played it much. But God, the visuals, the music, the game itself, it is breathtaking. Like you got your soundbar on full blast and you put this game on, you're gonna know about that.
Okay.
It just sucks you in, like. Yeah. So this is one for Ryder to try out, I reckon. He likes a bit of platformer, I think. So yeah, definitely worth a go.
There you go, Lionheart Rider.
No, when you say Lionheart, I remember Braveheart from Mel Gibson. So nothing, right? Related.
No. I don't think
we're not going into that history now, right? That's a different story again.
But you guys, I believe you guys are related to some Scottish stuff or Scotland. No, nothing.
I think there is some Scottish in my family. Yeah, somewhere down the line. On mum's side.
I mean, is Scottish something? Yeah, I mean, you understand why my confusion here, because you guys are there. So
yeah,
sorry for that.
No, that's okay. We do get I get a lot of questions about English culture, strangely, from people. It's odd. But
yeah, nice.
Moving on, from myself, and these are all obvious choices. You know me too well, probably. Super Frog. Well, we've already touched on that, so let's, not highlight that too much, but great platformer. I really do love it. Agony, great platformer. I suck at it. Love the side-scrolling element, love the pickups, love the graphics, love the backgrounds. Great publisher. Surprise, surprise, this is also obvious. Lotus 2. So, we've already touched on that. Now we're getting a little bit more interesting. Walker.
Moonwalker?
No. Walker. Walker.
Walker. Yeah, I think this was maybe my list, but I don't remember put Walker there. Is this mine?
No, I don't think I got a submission from you on Amiga, buddy.
I think I did. No.
Where did you send it?
Oh my God! Sorry for that. I definitely remember sending it.
I remember the C64 ones. I don't think I got
did the
Amiga.
quiz. I did the Amiga quiz.
Yeah, I got
I
that.
think I missed that.
Yeah, I
You
don't
did
think
a top 5 Amiga games. You did.
Yeah. We can
Oh,
include you. If
sorry.
you've got 5, you can do them right now, but or we
Yeah,
can
sorry
save
for
yours
that.
till the end then. Have a think. We can save yours till the end. But Walker, did
No,
you play this?
yeah, Walker. Yeah, no.
No?
Maybe Gary.
Gary, did you play it?
Yeah, I played Walker.
What's your thought?
Yeah, it's a tank mode special game, one, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite unique gameplay. Come to figure it for its time.
I like it.
Yeah, it's from the people who developed Lemons and Blood Money and that, so it's definitely a diagnosis title. You know what I mean? In its own right.
Yeah, you noticing the vibe with the cyber stuff here, right? With me.
Yeah, I played it quite a bit. I don't know what more to say about it, really. It is an awesome game, like, so very highly collectible now as well, if you can get a nice copy of it.
Yeah, the cover's quite nice
Yeah,
as well.
spent a lot of time with it. Yeah, it's a lovely cover on it.
Yeah, I do like that game. Like you say, it's I can do it quite easily on the Mini now, and I've got it on the GoTech as well. So, Another World, such a hard game for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, for me.
Yeah, on your own, it is a class game. But yeah, the first part of the game, when you come up with that swimming pool or pond,
Yeah,
and you make your way, right? I died gone so many times because of the little bugs. Everything tries to kill you on it, don't they?
yeah.
Then you get to the end, you got that big black beast, he starts chasing you. That's it then. I'm
Yeah.
doomed then at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah, but visually, it's a visually stunning looking game. Like,
I think I can count on both hands how many times I've actually got into the game properly. You know?
yeah, it's a game you gotta work at, and it's not a game. It's not just a pick up and play.
No, not at all. Not at all. And a lot of people say the same thing. It's always that first bit, with the leeches on the floor or whatever they are, the little suckers and whatnot, and then being chased. It's always the same. That's what people find hardest the most. Have you tried it, Ryder?
No, and I gotta say, Gary, he should have. Maybe he was known as middleman for Commodore and Amiga stuff, right? He maybe has a like stuff on the underground. He's just doing stuff on the underground. Many copies of games because Gary played them all, right? So
yeah,
it has to be some explanation there. So maybe Gary was the middleman. If you want, bootleg, just go to Gary. Go to Triple G. Well, who's Triple G? Well, he's the middleman.
If I haven't got it, I know someone who has at the right price.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, actually, another word. I remember this game from the magazines. Pretty much of these games. Some of these games actually, I remember from magazines.
Yeah.
I grew I grew up reading those I was reading the magazines before I could read. Just seeing the pictures.
Cool.
And I remember the pictures. And one thing I remember is this. There is the other game that looks similar to another word.
It was actually called something different in America, wasn't it? It wasn't called Another World in America.
There is another game that looks like Another World. It's more.
You're on about Flashback,
Flashback, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think Flashback should be like 2-3 years further from another word. I don't know that now. But I remember another word and flashback. Just 2 games on magazines, on video game magazines. But I don't think I played them. I saw some videos, from TV shows, but yeah, I really need to try them. This kind of game I like. It's also stressful, but I enjoy it more than point and click. Yeah.
The other name for the Nether World is called Out of This World.
I knew it was something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that was also released on the Genesis, and the Super NES as well. So you're more likely to see that one.
Okay.
That's why I see them on magazines, because they were probably released on Mega Drive and Super NES.
Different cover as well. So they were mine. The next ones are from Deepin. So we've got...
These are going to be interesting.
Yeah. So we've got Turrican 2.
Yeah.
Which he's doing
marvelously. At the moment.
Yeah. Is he winning at the moment on Turrican 2, or you are?
Yeah, he's smashing it at the moment. I'm way behind. I've like 70 odd foes. He's like 120 odd foes, and like.
Yeah, because I remember you were leading it for a while. But
yeah.
I'm going to try and look at that tonight or early tomorrow, definitely. But yeah, I mean, we have already touched on it a bit. Turrican 2, amazing game. It is. It's such a stunning visually game, I think. And we've got Gods.
Bitmap Brothers classic.
Yeah.
Definitely. Amazing intro, great graphics in game. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely got good memories of this one. I remember playing this back in the day a bit, and sort of, when I picked up various Amigas and found discs that it came with. I think at one point I did have a boxed copy of this. But yeah, definitely a good game. It's fun. It's not too stressful. It has got stressful points in it, but you've got to get your movements right. You've got to know what you're doing. But yeah, it's a pleasant game. I like it.
Yeah.
Have you played it, Ryder?
Yes. I would say it looks as impressive as Gunstar Heroes on Mega Drive. I think.
Yeah.
All the crazy things going on the screen, the color palette. I mean, maybe it's like the FPS. I'm not sure if there is such a thing, but maybe that refresh sync of the ECS chip there. Maybe it's really working on this title. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it A600 title? No.
No, it's A500 up.
Okay.
No, it's original.
Never mind about that. So, my brother, I think it's really, the performance of the game is really impressive.
It's impressive what they could do.
All the actions going.
It's impressive.
But it's hard. It's really hard as well.
I like it. Definitely impressive what they could do. So,
my number 2 game. Yeah.
I'm just looking now. That was number 2, yeah. So number 3. Who wants to guess on this one?
Number 3.
It's got to be Shadows of the Beast.
No. I'll give you a clue. He won it hands down and got to the end.
Agony.
Yes. It's a popular choice this evening.
Yeah. It's what can I say? He's an absolute legend playing our game. I did try to and catch him, but no.
Yeah, he submitted some really
difficult for me.
Yeah, he did the trick, the invincibility stuff.
Yeah. So we've then got Sensible Soccer 1.1.
That's the original one, isn't it? That's the
Yeah, I'm not going to know.
Yeah, that's the original Sensi. Changed football on the Amiga, didn't Kickoff was great. Kickoff 2 was even better. The Sensible Soccer came around and it was just completely put it all on his head, and it was a different experience altogether.
Yeah, and I do remember
No,
those games, but obviously they weren't games that I played, unless mates were playing them. And I think I did play them a little bit. Oh, do you want to just do 2-player on this? I'd be like, oh, go on then. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That was C64.
Is this like soccer game or
Yeah,
management soccer?
Yeah, soccer.
soccer.
Full
Okay.
soccer game. Yeah, you got a bit of management in it as well. Buy players, sell players, arrange
Okay.
players, and all that. Like, but it's more action soccer, as you call it out there. Like,
Mm.
but
Oh,
they still playing it to this day now. You know what I mean? Updated teams, updated leagues around the world. It's a game that's never going to go away. Like, it's here to stay, and that's great to see.
Yeah.
a game that maybe we should try on live. Then should be interesting.
Count me out.
Yeah, we can do that. I did it on Amiga Live, but I got absolutely hammered. Apparently, the tip to it is not use a joypad or a joystick, but use a keyboard.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna work for me because as I'm here in Brazil, the delay is much worse. So for me to play, it really needs some game that does not suffer as a delay, right? Like Street Fighter, no go for me. Delay is huge.
Yeah, we
But
tried a few, didn't we?
Golden Axe worked pretty
Yeah,
well, right? Worked
Golden
pretty
Axe
well.
was good. Yeah, Lotus 2 wasn't bad though, was it? There was a little bit of lag, but we still managed to have a
Yeah,
decent race, really. But you
yeah,
definitely could notice a little bit of lag.
yeah. I for that reason, I think maybe Golden Axe or beaten ups, right? So beaten ups, you have the lag as well, but it's it's
Manageable.
playable. I mean, manageable. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so last but not least, from Deepin, Formula One Grand Prix.
Absolute, well, it's absolute classics. It's my first big box game I had on my Amiga. I remember when we first come out, it was a massive delay on it over here in the UK.
This is the
They delayed it for
one, yeah?
Microsoft one, Jeff Crammond, and it was heavily delayed. I posted that for Christmas, but it wasn't released in time. But yeah, when it came out, then amazing game for its time.
Okay.
It was nearest you can get to a Formula. No, actually, drive a Formula One car.
Mm.
I read a lot about it as well at the time. They actually went to the race circuits around the world to make sure they're designed for the tracks were exactly the same as the race circuits. And I've been to Silverstone a few times. The old Silverstone is different now.
Yeah.
And the game's so accurate. Just on our one circuit is amazing, like amazing game. And that's another game they still play to this day now, and you get updates, apparently.
Okay.
I haven't got to work yet, but I'm trying.
Yeah, I have played
But
it.
yeah, I'm trying to look into it.
I'm sure I had a box version as well. Where that's gone, I don't know. I did actually recently, while I was sorting stuff out, randomly came across the manual for that game.
Yeah.
So, if anybody needs a manual, get in touch.
I was going to say as well, was at its peak of Formula One, because I don't really follow it much anymore, but I used to be a massive fan, like the 80s,
Yeah.
riders, 80s, 90s, well, mid 90s.
Same.
Unbelievable it was. It was head to head all the time, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let's shout out some legends, Ayrton Senna. Schumacher.
Yeah.
I mean, Nigel Mansell back in the day had his moments, didn't he? He's a great driver.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
He was great. He was the one guy. I remember I was there in '92 when he won his the year he won his championship. I was in Silverstone, and he did the fastest ever lap on the old circuit. I was there, like,
wow.
Oh God, he was like the people's champion.
Yeah.
He did get his own game as well. That was released by Gremlin, but
he did.
He did get his own game. In fact, it was 2 games. I found another one the other day.
Really?
An earlier game he did.
He lives in the Isle of Man, didn't he? Or did?
Yeah. I never met them all. I always wanted to meet them, like. Yeah, he did. It's 2 games.
Okay.
Nigel Mansell's Grand Prix. and it wasn't reviewed very well. But yeah,
You can see how Gary's passionate about Amiga, because every single game is a classic for Gary. You know?
it's just everyone's picking the classic ones, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do some tests. Gary, what about Shadow of the Beast? What do you think about Shadow of the Beast?
Oh, different level that game.
Total classic.
You don't want me to say no? Wait until it comes up, because I got speech for that game.
Well,
Actually got speech for that one.
You're not going to be disappointed for too much longer, because the next submissions is Gary, and the first one is Shadow of the Beast.
Oh, you right? Right, you ready for this, right there?
I want to try this game.
Good
I want to try this game.
Yeah. Right, Shadows of the Beast is that's an all-time classic, isn't it? Great intro, great music. Yeah. The game has got its faults. It has got a detection problem. Everyone keeps going on about that, but visually it's stunning. Like, you know what I mean? It's apparently it's the first game that was built on the Amiga and on another system. Nice. So it's using all the Amiga's capabilities and not the other system's capabilities. And not mention the system's name. Yeah, he basically kicked everything out the park. Like, you know what I mean? It was an expensive game when it came out, especially if you bought the big box with a T-shirt. And, you know, it laid the path for things to come in, didn't it? You know, pub developers realised then, oh, hang on, we should be making games on the Amiga for the Amiga, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if I would have the original stuff, 2 games that I would have big box. I'm not sure if Agony is available as a big box as well, but Agony and Shadow of the Beast. I think the artwork is kind of bizarre and disturbing. You know, I can't really figure out what that is. You know, it's really strange, but it's also cool, right?
Yeah, because like Signal says in general, every game they release, they really concentrating hard on the box art. Like Roger Dean done a few box arts for them, including the Beast 1 and 2. Yeah, Tim White then he done a couple as well. You know what I mean? They went all out on their games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really.
I can't be on the shelf, really, innit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Shadow of the Beast might be the Dark Souls of Amiga, right?
Yeah,
because they say it's really difficult. They say it's really difficult.
Not an easy game.
I am trying to do a full game play of it now in sections.
Wow.
And I can't get to the castle at the moment, so I'm stuck on part 3 of my video at the moment, but I am trying to do it.
Nice.
That would be good to see.
Yeah, maybe can we do some challenge in the future for Shadow of the Beast?
If you're brave enough.
Yeah,
fantastic
maybe.
Game. Like say, you know, it's one of those games you mentioned. Amiga, Shadows of the Beast is one of those games you just come up.
100%.
Yeah, I really want to try this first on Amiga because I know there's Mega Drive, other versions, right? But I'm really interested about playing first on Amiga to see, and then maybe try the other ports later. But you know, the first experience I want to be on Amiga. I'm gonna try later, definitely.
Yeah. It's a great game. I haven't got tremendously far on it ever, but I do really enjoy it, and it is graphically stunning. So obviously the second choice, I knew this was coming, as Lemmings.
Oh no! Really?
Yeah.
Is it in someone top 5 Lemmings? No.
This is Gary's
This
top
is right.
5.
Is this some typo or something?
No.
Yeah.
It definitely says Lemmings.
Definitely Lemmings. And the reason behind it is, there's everything about it, and you know, it was unique gameplay for his time. You know, click puzzle game, but with a difference. And you got to love those little green-haired lemmings running around the screen, haven't you? You know what I mean?
And the noise
Can
they
be
make when they
frustrating
die.
on times.
The noise they make when they die.
Oh, I know.
I feel
My
so
boy
bad.
likes you hitting the nuclear button. He do sometimes. He gets them all in one. All he just hits the nuclear button.
Yeah, just
Let them all
destroy
go.
the level.
Like take the screen out and run it.
And you can
And you-
see early Worms there, right? If you play Worm, I'm not sure if you guys play Worms 1. It's really pretty much like Lemmings graphic stuff. It's really
similar.
similar, right?
Yeah.
I actually met that guy in the summer. Andy Davison. Yeah, I got my game signed by him.
Wow.
Nice.
Worms.
And is there any worm? Is there any worms on Amiga or no?
Yeah, it's 2 on there. It's the original worms, which I got for the A500, and they brought a director's cut out then for the AGAN.
No, that's nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's on Amiga Live as well, right? So that's another game you can try.
Hey.
Yeah. We should. This one might be really interesting to play on live. Do you know if it's there?
Yeah, they got their own map packs on as well, like Halo and that as well.
Oh,
they actually create their own levels on there.
That will be really hilarious playing Worms.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Amiga Live. Yeah, the Worms I play, the first Worms I played was 2 on the PC. It was like a demo, and it was beautiful on the PC. And I, start researching about it. Then I found the Worms 1. I think there's a PC version as well, and I try it. But you see the difference there. There's a really huge jump from Worms 1 and 2. But Worms 1, just like we said, really reminds of Lemmings. So it's interesting for me to see the evolution, going from Lemmings to Worms. And I love this, just like I said, I love to follow this one and understand, we got these things specifically, we got something from, Lemmings introducing and using on the Worms, right?
Yeah.
So it's really cool. I love this.
Yeah, that's it. I remember sitting there looking at the screens for ages trying to figure stuff out. Like, if I send the lemming over that way and you can climb, and then I've got to put a blocker there, and then I've got to dig backwards to get the others out and all sorts, So it was quite intense, at points, and quite fun. And there is quite a few different Lemmings titles on the Amiga as well, so definitely a game, you just got to try it.
Yeah, and Lemming, I think Lemmings is everywhere. Ports and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember Lemmings on the front cover of the video game magazines here, in the early 90s and stuff. I
got a lot of
really remember one specific that it has the Lemmings on the art cover, on the front cover. And I think it's there, it's everywhere, Lemmings, right?
Yeah, it got ported to virtually every system, as far as I'm aware.
Nice.
The first system I actually seen Lemmings on was not, like I said before, it wasn't an Amiga. It was an Acorn A3000. That's where I first seen Lemmings in primary school. Actually, it was in primary school. Which, for your understanding over there, Ryder, is the school that you go to before high school, before you're 11. Younger school. That's where I first seen Lemmings, on an Amiga Acorn A3000. And I was like, oh, I know what I'm playing on break time. And then that continued into high school because they had them there as well. But great game, and so many different versions as well for the, even just on the Amiga. You've got Lemmings, you've got Oh No More Lemmings, you've got Lemmings Tribes, you've got Christmas Lemmings. There's so many. Lemmings overload. I love it. But
scuba diving, Lemmings.
some of them can scuba diving. So you got Lotus 2 as the third choice, Gary.
What was that? Lotus 2?
Yeah, that's your third one.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to say? It's a classic.
It is, though.
I spent hours playing this with my brother when we was kids. Like, it's just constant, proper battles, like on the Amiga. Yeah, it's just a great game. The fog stage always haunts me. One day I can just do it and win it, and another day I could be on hours trying to get past it. For some reason, that's when it catches me up.
Mm.
But yeah, it's just a pure racer on the system. Like, what can I say?
Yeah, renowned.
Yeah, but that explains a lot, because you are passionate about racing, because not only the other game we played that, right? You also have the pole position on Atari, right? So you really is a passionate fan of racing stuff.
Yeah.
And
that was the one game. Oh, sorry, you can carry on.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say it's interesting because I like to see the evolution of the stuffs. And if you think about racing games, pole position on 82, right, was really a phenomenon on 82.
Yeah.
It's probably the best selling arcade at the time, right? You was gonna say something about it?
Yeah, what I was gonna say is I went in the shop, I bought the 7800, and I had a pile of 7800 games with it, and Chopper Command as well for the Atari 2600. Didn't think at the time. And she said, we've got other games here, and seen pole position here. I didn't, they ain't going to work. I said to my wife, they ain't going to work on it. Go home, realised then, Bob S messaged me, 2600 games work on that, mine. So I went back up there, and basically, they were only like £4 discount. Like, and I ended up buying all of them. Like, so I got a pile later. I tried them, they all working. Yeah, but pole position was the one game I wanted. I want to get the second one for 7800 as well, but it's not very cheap at the moment, so I may have to hold out a little bit longer for it before I get hold of that one.
Yeah, this cartridges really were.
Sorry, Ryder, go on.
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm just gonna say, these cartridges were really made to last, right?
Yeah. We were saying it the other day, as in, we were wondering, because obviously I've got the 2600 plus. I never had a 2600 back in the day. Obviously, we know I started with C64, but
that was the example I was remember actually. Sorry, that was because Atari is the one that's like a mini, and you can use the real thing as well, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's quite a mini. And this gag's been used how many times across the internet? It's more of a MIDI, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not as big as the original. I've seen one of them as well.
It's about 80% size, the Atari 2600 Plus, and I would say it's roughly the size of maybe the Junior model that was released originally.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But it plays original cartridges, yeah, or certainly a larger selection of them at the moment. It's firmware updatable, so hopefully the line glitches out. But I was saying to Gary, because he's obviously now got the 7800, these new Atari 2600 games that are coming out, like Mr. Run and Jump, a new version of Berserk, the Atari Paddle Pack with the games, will they work on the 7800? That's what we were thinking. And there doesn't seem to be...
I think so.
They should. Yeah. Theoretically, they should. But nobody seems to have 100% confirmed that I can find on the internet. They say, they'll work on the original 2600.
Not yet.
They'll work on
not
that.
yet, because these things usually, people just rush to test it.
Yeah.
Well, that's strange.
But I'm seeing, yes, they work on the original 2600, yes, this and that, but I'm not seeing a lot online about whether this new stuff coming out is compatible with the 7800.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not seeing.
I know the right guy to go and talk to about it anyway. He's Atari through and through, so maybe I should give him a message and ask him. Like, he might know.
Yes. I know exactly. Yeah. I know exactly who you're thinking, and you should message him. Yeah.
I think he's got a plus. I think he's got originals.
Yeah, I've also been discussing with another member in the group as well, because he's picked up a 2600 plus. So I posed it to him, and maybe he'll test it as well. So yeah, well, we've digressed off here. Way into Atari.
Yeah, I was just
Atari on Amiga podcast,
Shocking.
I just wanted to say, the evolution of the racing games.
That's right.
Since Gary is also passionate, I know Chris likes too, but I mean, if we talk about racing games, you immediately might think about Gran Turismo, right? But what before that? Before Gran Turismo,
Ooh.
probably on the 16-bit, right? 16-bit.
16.
16-bit. You got Top Gear, and guess what? Top Gear was based on the Lotus game, and I see that the first Lotus game is from 1990, right? I see that on the Wikipedia.
Okay.
So before that, I know there was a lot of racing games, but I don't think there was greater than Pole Position. I know there was Hang On, but was motor racing, right? Not car stuff, car racing. So maybe from Pole Position you got to the Lotus that got to the Top Gear, because here it was very popular. So no, I just want to say this: how I'm realizing that how Lotus is a classic, like Gary says. Not only a classic, it's an important game.
Yeah.
It's a historical game, because I think it's the Top Gear is probably one of the most popular games from the 16-bit era. Maybe Mega Drive has the Super Monaco and stuff, because Sega is much more arcade stuff, and then they got Virtual Racing and Daytona, right? But yeah, Lotus is really, really unique title and very important.
Agreed.
Revolution of racing games, yeah. It's really nice to know.
The next choice from Gary is also a racing game. Jeff.
Oh, there we go.
Jeff Crammond's Grand Prix. Hope I've pronounced
That's
that
the
right.
same one as
Is that the same port?
Deep Impact? Yeah,
that...
same game, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was thinking if it was. And last but not least, we've not even had this one mentioned tonight, Agony.
Where did that one come from? Is that my pick?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we all know it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's new old to me. It's a game I didn't play back in the glory days of Amiga. So, it was one of the first games I booted up when I started emulating a couple of years ago. During the dreaded COVID. And yeah, it was my go-to game it was. So
yeah, literally.
But this game is really like kind of bizarre, Isn't that kind of creepy? Because like an owl, and you have the Shadow of the Beast, Isn't this game like scare you back as a kid stuff? Or no?
No. No.
There was no ratings back then on games. I just like a good old atmospheric game, you know what I mean? A game that, grips you like and drives you in like that. That's a proper game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ever in the racing. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, literal classic. Okay, so that's all the submissions we got, as far as I'm aware. I hope I haven't missed anybody. If I have, I am really sorry. Ryder, did you think of any?
Yeah, sure. First place, Agony, definitely. Second place, yeah, it's a true classic. True classic.
He would have gone for E-Team if he brought it out on the Amiga, wouldn't he, Ryder?
No, yeah. I think we should do a single 18 podcast, 2 hours long.
Just for
18 only.
Yeah. Get the higher score on 18, I reckon.
Yeah.
We'll put that challenge up for January, is it?
Let's go. Our whole month dedicated to 18. Come on, let's go. So yeah, Agony, definitely top one. Incredible. It's fun, challenging, good looking. I really want to play. You really, you got yourself addict. About it, but and it's hard, but you can do it. It's those games, I know I can do it better. I know if I remember the stuff, learning curve, like hit and miss, try and error. I want to mean. Yeah, it's like trying to error. Okay, I need to go this, I need to do that. This enemy is like this, I need to be on this specific position. He throws that stuff. I know you can surpass, it's possible. Some games are really hard, control wise. Some games are really hard to control, or some games are really that difficult about timing and stuff. But Agony, you can do it. You just have to have that patience. And it's fun. That's the most important thing. It's really fun to do it, and it's a great game. And number 2, I would say Turrican, because it's really impressive game by the time, I think. But it's really hard for me. Maybe I need to train more. More technical stuff. I mean, I really need to train more. Not, the controls and stuff. To get better in this game. And then I would say probably Lotus. Yeah, it's really nice to know the historical importance of this game. It's really unique and incredible. This be a playable game back in 1992. That's really fantastic. I would say number 4. Super Frog. No, Super Frog is my number 5. It's really hard to control. I know number 4, Shadow of the Beast. I didn't play, but I know it's good. That's it.
All top Amiga titles.
Yeah, I mean, Super Frog. The problem is the controls for me. I'm not sure if maybe if I maybe calibrate, the sensibility stuff. I'm not sure if it's really that way. It's really fast game, right? It could be really fast, but then you have the platform stuff. It's just like, it's like they did like a Sonic game, but they put some platforms there. I'm not sure if it was even released after Sonic. I'm not sure.
Brilliant.
The hills, the speed. It reminds me of Sonic, but you have the platform there as well. You need to stop and jumping and go through the enemies. Really reminds me of Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So I've just checked the time there. We're already up to 1 hour and 52 minutes. So we should probably move on to the quiz. Just going to get this in front of me here. Okay, so like I said, I got one member's answers separately. And I don't know, apart from the one member I've got separately, I don't know who got it right and who got it wrong. It's anonymous on the form, obviously. Okay, so the first question. What does ECS stand for? The answers were Enhanced Chipset, Executive Composite Suite, or English Computer Systems. Any guesses?
The first one, right?
Gary?
Definitely the first one.
So we're saying Enhanced Chipset, yeah?
Yes.
Let me check the separate one. Yes, so everybody got that one correct. Okay, second question. What do you need? Oh, sorry, I'll rephrase that. What disk do you need to boot downwards on an Amiga? The answers were reverter disk, downgrader, revert kicker, reload kick, or ROM reverter disk.
The downgrader.
Downgrader. So you need to downgrade a disk.
Yeah, downgrader.
Well, okay, let's get the answer sorted first, and then I'm going to pose another question. We had, this is on Google Forms, so minus the extra submission. So 66.7% said reload kick. 33.3%, so this must include you, Ryder, put ROM reverter disk. And our extra submission, I don't think they understood my wording on the question. I had to mark them as incorrect. You'll know who you are, so sorry for that, my friend. But possibly my fault for I could have described the question probably better. But the answer, of course, is reload kick. Now, why would you need a reload kick disk?
I think it all comes down to the chipset, doesn't it? And the kickstart ROM as well. I think the kickstart ROM played a part of it.
Yeah.
So I know, like most of A500s are 1.3 or 1.2 kickstart. And when they, on the 500 plus, they brought out, was it the 2.05 kickstart? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think that's where I was guarding earlier, where people had trouble playing the games, earlier games. And I think that was the start of it. And I think it was used for the A600 and 1200 as well.
Yeah, yeah. And that's certainly where I had to encounter it, because I was trying to play A500 games on an A1200. And of course, it's just no. So reload kick disk in, make the A1200 think it's an A500, put your game in, away you go. So that's what it was used for.
Downgrader is a cooler name.
It could have also been downgraded disk, yeah, because you are downgrading the chipset, right, or downgrading the kick.
And you have the Turrican, guy there.
Downgrader.
Like, yeah, the downgrader, like Darth Vader.
So 66.7% got that one right. Reload kick, yeah. I think downgrader definitely sounds better, actually. You are right.
Sounds cooler, yeah.
Okay, so the next one, everybody got this one right. And it is, what does AGA stand for in Amiga? Advanced General Amiga, Advanced Graphics Amiga, Advanced Graphics Architecture, or Amiga Goes Ape. I was put that in there for a joke. If anybody would have put that, I'd have been just, come on.
Goes Ape.
Amiga Goes Ape. I was trying to think of things that could also be AGA.
Gremlin, stuff, something.
It does sound like, yeah. It sounds like like Rampage or something, doesn't it? So yeah, everyone got that one right. Advanced Graphic Architecture, or Graphics Architecture. And okay, next one. Name 3 Amiga computer chips. Does anybody want to give it a go?
I'll have a go. The best name for Amiga chip is Gary, by a long way. And you got our Paula there now,
Yep.
You got a big old Angus as well. Agnes.
Yeah. Agnes, yeah.
You got Denise.
Correct.
I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head.
Okay, well, yeah.
Missing another one, isn't I?
All those are correct. I have got a full list here somewhere. I mean, I could just type in Amiga quiz.
You got CIA news as well.
Yeah. This one you needed to type it. This one you need to type it.
I think.
Oh my God.
These are the answers.
I don't remember what I said.
These are the answers we got. Agnes, Denise, Paula twice. Gary, Paula, Denise, and ECS, AGA.
Yeah, this was me, because I think I thought, you know how some tests you do that the answers are on other questions, the same test. Right, the answer to some questions is on the questions on the other questions on the same test. So I think this was a trick. And I think, okay, ACS and AGA must be some kind of hardware. So they are chips. So, right? No? Makes sense.
I understand where you're going with it, yeah.
Never mind. Just forget it.
You had to go ask the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you asking me a Mega Drive question, you know what I mean?
Chipset, I get what you're saying, yeah. I get what you're saying. But Agnes, Denise, Paul are correct. Gary, Paul and Denise correct. As I say, there were certainly others there. I have got a full list, but we probably need to move on looking at the time. A common nickname for the Amiga beginning with M.
I don't remember what I put.
I don't want to know what Ryder put.
I think
Something
Ryder's
nasty.
answer is marvelous.
Marvelous.
Literally, that is the answer. Marvelous. It is also marvelous.
It is. It is, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a marvelous computer.
Half.
Okay.
Deserve a half point there.
So everybody else got this right. The answer is Miggy. Somebody put Migs. I'm going to accept that. But when I think of it, it's Miggy or Mig. So again, acceptable. Next one. What CPU did the A1200 have as standard? Best answer here, the default one. Is that you, Ryder?
Oh, what? I wonder who that was.
Yeah, I mean,
The default one.
Technically not wrong.
It can't. This, yeah, exactly. Just what I was going to say. You know, it's an interpretation thing.
Yeah, it's interpretation. It would have the default one. You're correct. Bypassing these questions cheated me. No, joking.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the answers we got. Did you want to say, Gary? Sorry.
No, I'm all right. Yeah, sorry, Ryder, man.
Okay.
What can I say about Ryder? I can write a book on him now.
Yeah, we could. Retro biographies. Okay, so the answers we got was the default one, 68,000, and Motorola 68EC020, and also 020. So, does anybody want to hazard a guess at the correct answer?
68,000.
68020, yeah. That is right, isn't it?
I think our chip was in many systems when I got shares in our chip.
Yeah, this is
back there. I gotta be a rich man.
Yeah, this is it. I'm just going to check this now. I'm pretty sure I did check it, but just quickly on Google, it is 020. What chip did? Oh, what processor? It's not put chip. What processor did the A1200 have? Partially my fault. I have so many notes, and then you're going to need that note. Yeah, so there you go. Somebody did get it perfectly correct. So again, either superior knowledge or Google. The A1200 has a Motorola 68 EC020. The CPU is noteworthy that, like the 68,000, the 68 EC020 has a 24-bit address space. So we'll go with that one, eh? Sorry, Ryder.
Yeah, good guess.
Yeah, default. You say you weren't wrong.
Close one.
Yeah, very close. Okay, so what was the Amiga 600 supposed to be called?
Amiga 100? No?
I think we did touch on it earlier. I may have actually stated it, that it was supposed to be the base model, like an introductory base model, but then it kind of got priced out of its own base model range. It was actually supposed to be called the A300.
Oh, 300, that's right, yeah.
Basically below 500, starting point. So we had 66.7 on this form. Got that right. 33.3%, which will be one person, put the A100. And then the extra submission was that was also the A300. Okay, so. Okay, I think everybody kind of knew this one. What's the nickname for the original A500 mouse?
Tank
Rat.
mouse.
Tank mouse.
Rat.
What mouse,
I
Ryder?
was waiting for him to answer.
Rat.
The rat mouse. Okay, well, somebody put, we had tank mouse, Amiga mouse.
Amiga mouse, yeah. I
Yeah.
think this was me.
Okay, well, it was an Amiga mouse. That's the interesting thing. But yeah, the original A500 one we know as the tank mouse just because of its shape.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay, now this is the question next that we discussed in prep earlier about the chips. So the question is, what did the A600 have that the A500 didn't? Now, I'm just having a look. Okay, so two people put ECS. One person just put a dot. And the other person put Super Agnes. Now, this did lead us to think a bit because we're not Amiga experts, nor do we claim to be. But that was quite specific. So we've done a little bit of research, didn't we? And I'm going to read this out. This is off a forum online, Vintage Computer Federation. I'm looking into... Oh, actually, sorry, wrong part. So professional. Here we go. The problem seems to arise from the fact that there is not really too much of a difference between OCS and ECS. ECS has slightly extended graphics capabilities and always has the Super Denise chip. OCS, on the other hand, always has the Super Denise chip. OCS, on the other hand, always has the regular Denise chip. But that's not all. And here is where things get interesting. The Agnes chip, excuse me, had quite a few incremental upgrades. And there doesn't seem to be any clear distinction when it went from OCS to ECS. Lots of people claim the fatter Agnes, A372A, qualifies as ECS, while other people believe you need one of the super fat Agneses for ECS. So that's what we basically found out. To say, we don't claim to be Amiga experts, but we're accepting that answer as correct because it's certainly listed there from the research that we found. So the only wrong answer there was... Actually, there wasn't. They're all correct. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I got one.
Well, yeah, because the other answers were ECS, so you must have put that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and that post, what I read out, explains it. You know, because I was trying to think of questions that would kind of be like interesting. So that post there that I read out certainly explains it 10 times better than I could. So touche for that. What year did Commodore buy the Amiga brand? The answers were 1986, 1982, 1984, or 1987. Gary?
Ooh. Was it 1984?
Correct. And that went for 66.7% and for the extra submission as well. And 33.3, so one person again put 1986. Which isn't far off.
In far off.
Okay, now I love this answer. I love this. Who took over Amiga after Commodore's bankruptcy? What are we saying on that one?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I know what your answer is, Ryder. I know what your answer is. And it's again,
I can't remember what you put for that now.
Well, okay, so 3 people, which is 1 on the extra one and 2 on here. So they put ESCOM, yeah, which is certainly the brand that followed. and took over Amiga. But we had one person, and I'm going to read this question again, who took over Amiga after Commodore's bankruptcy. Well, one person put, and it is, I can't deny the logic because it is correct, the bank. Because the bank would take over the business after bankruptcy, obviously. So
Yeah,
do we count
right.
all of those as correct? I mean, the correct answer is ESCOM, but bank isn't wrong.
He's got to
I
have half a point for that, hasn't he?
It's logical thinking,
assume-
isn't it?
I assume everyone played Monopoly, right? So
Yeah.
everyone knows about this.
But yeah, I mean, technically correct. Who took over them after bankruptcy? Well, yeah, the bank. It's quality answer. Quality. Oh, brilliant. So yeah, what the hell? They're all right. Okay. What was the last machine Commodore made with the Amiga branding? I love this answer.
I thought it was the 4000 I did, but
Really? Okay. Well,
Oh my God, what
I'm 100% sure now thinking about that.
Well, we can certainly ask Google. I can be doing that while we're discussing it. So we had that is there. So your answer may be right, Gary, because A4000T is there.
Yeah.
And the other answer, which I think is right, is Farewell 2000. Sounds more like
What?
a car. The Farewell 2000.
Farewell.
Yeah, Farewell 2000, F2000.
Okay, I don't remember put this, but yeah, makes sense. Maybe it was me.
Okay. So I have typed in. Oh, we also had CD32 twice. So what was the last Commodore Amiga made? That should be enough. Oh, typo. Right, there. Okay. Commodore's last Amiga offering before filing for bankruptcy was the Amiga CD32, 1993. So we had, two answers were right. Such a lovely console as well, the CD32, I think.
Yeah, is on my list of consoles though.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they've really gone up in price now.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
If there's two consoles I'd really like to add, it would be the Amiga CD32 and the Atari Jaguar.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah, nice.
both very expensive. Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
So, what was the first official Amiga logo? The Boing Ball, Amiga A500, or Checkmark were the answers that we got. So, we all know the Boing Ball is an Amiga logo. I'm not sure if I've seen a logo saying Amiga A500, apart from on an Amiga A500, obviously. And Checkmark. We also had an extra submission of Check Tick, which I will accept. That is the correct answer. The first known logo to refer to Amiga or anything like that as an actual logo was the checkmark tick, to my knowledge, and to Google's knowledge. So that's that one. And again, very similar question, which we all got right, I believe. What was the name of the Amiga ball icon? Well, it was Boing Ball. We just said that. Okay, so last two questions now. What was the A600's code name and why? Any clue on that one?
the next one. Not sure.
No, Gary, do you know that one? We definitely got 2 right answers for this. Actually, 3, I think. Hang on.
What was the question again?
What was the A600's code name and why?
Yeah. Was it the 100, wasn't it? No?
No.
I said 100 earlier, didn't I? No.
Yeah.
Did get it.
So it was like this would have been like their code name, like people give things strange code names when they're making them or producing them. So A300 was what it was actually supposed to be named upon release, but it got changed to A600. This would have been more its secret code name when it was under creation.
I know what you're on about now. It's gone off. I did know it, but I lost it at the top of my head now.
Yeah. Well, we had 2 correct answers, 2 wrong ones. I'm looking at this answer. 666. There were Satanists. Ryder, do you have anything to say?
No,
Do you have
man.
anything to say about this?
I don't remember putting this, man.
No.
No.
666. There were Satanists.
Dude, this is really heavy, man. No, this is not a thing to play,
No. Okay.
Make fun,
Well,
right?
that was one of the answers. The second to last, sorry, the other person on the other submission, that wasn't quite correct neither. So we had 2 right ones, which was the actual code name was Junebug, and that was named after the B-52 song. So 2 people got that right. And last but not least, what was the first Amiga ever released? Well, if you listen to this podcast, you'll all know that answer. It was the Amiga 1000. So there we go. That's the quiz. I did say I'd give a bonus point as well because one of the questions was a bit messed up. So I don't think there were many wrong answers there. Everyone done pretty well on that.
What about creativity bonus?
Creative? Well, yeah, you should definitely get one for the bank. I looked at that. I was like, well, he's right. He is right.
This and the John Commodore third, I think, were the best answers, right?
Yeah,
Most creative one.
No doubt. John Commodore the third and the bank. Well, there we go. That brings us to virtually the end. And I mean, as I say, what a month it's been. It's been really good to see people get involved in the hashtag, see their content, see their Amigas. And I am still also researching the serial numbers, by the way, and finding a little bit about them and where they were built and where they refer to, etc. But that continues, so it's not ready to be revealed just yet. We're going to go into January, obviously, as we agreed. We're going to have a little bit of a quiet month. We're not going to have any focused content, sort of like for the Amiga or Commodore 64, etc., something like that. We're just going to have a little break for a while after a busy time of Christmas and whatnot. So yeah, we are a Retroslice Gaming, a small community that appreciate anything retro, computers, consoles, and pretty much anything else, right? And does anyone want to say anything else before we finish off, where we're heading, or how they think things went?
Yeah, it was really great. Really interesting for me to participate on the challenge and stuff and discover these games and know about their historical importance. And yeah, thank you very much for, especially Gary as well, for being supportive, and everyone that joined, participated. Thank you very much.
Yeah, agreed. Really great to see, and I know people definitely had fun this month and still are having fun with it. So yeah, it's really great to see. It's what our community is all about, isn't it? So anybody that wants to join us, feel free to contact us. We are on Instagram as Retroslice Gaming. We can also be contacted at Retroslice Gaming gmail.com, and we are a Discord community. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much, you guys. Thank you for all your help and for the promotion material as well. It's going to finish this recording off, and then obviously we can have a little chat privately. So yeah, thanks for taking part in the podcast, and thanks for taking part in Amiga December, everyone.